Oh gosh, he's going to start on the chapters again now. Oh dear. Where's the food? Tony's thinking, where are the chocolate biscuits? We're having to hide ours. So, chapter 9, nothing. Seems appropriate after the meditation we've just held. Now, I'm sure many of you, again, this is a UK thing, will remember the Carry On films. Carry On Doctor, in fact, that's what I'm referring to. And in Carry On Doctor, there's a character called Francis Bigger. Now, Francis Bigger is a faith healer, played by the late, great Frankie Howard. And there's a scene set in a hall that greatly amuses me. It's a community hall because it's so typical of how I experienced many times in look and atmosphere some of the older spiritualist churches when I took services in them. Not their fault, they were struggling to maintain those churches. He's delivering a lecture in this dark, dusty, run-down, falling apart church hall with his dragon of a secretary that eventually gets him to marry her under a misunderstanding. He thinks he's dying. Sitting next to him, and there's a crowd of aging people in front of him in the congregation. And he pronounces his deep philosophy on life to these people. The bigger method, as he calls it. And it's summed up by him as this: if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. And if it matters, never mind. Deep stuff indeed. And I share this with you because the Josephism from chapter 9, nothing, is simply this: nothing matters. Nothing matters. A personal note: by this point in the delivery of Revelation, my connection to Joseph had developed almost into a trance state. As I said earlier, if I wanted to query anything he was saying, I couldn't. And it's very strange because, as Tony will tell you from the later books that we brought through, there was this stream of consciousness every time we sat. And I would sit down, take a breath as me, and the next breath it was Joseph. And he would deliver word perfect. What you see in Revelation is how it came through, exactly. Word perfect, an entire chapter. And it would take 40 to 45 minutes, and then he'd go. And I'd think, where am I? What am I sometimes? I remember once Jane handed me a glass of water, and I looked at it, wasn't there. Couldn't see it. I could see it, but it wasn't there. It was nothing. It was no thing. So what's nothing, chapter 9, all about in a nutshell? Joseph often refers to a simple object to illustrate the concepts he's putting across to us. And in this chapter, we get the first mention of something he's extremely fond of and refers to on a number of occasions, and it's this: a chair. And he says it's a simple piece of furniture. And he says if he wishes to create a chair in the dimension that he exists in, he simply thinks one into being. I want a chair. There's a chair. It appears in front of him. It appears instantly from the void, from proto-matter, a state of rest of spiritual essence and energy, a state from which all material objects are formed. When he's finished with the chair and he doesn't need it anymore, he takes his attention away from it and it disappears. It's not there. He doesn't carry it around with him, he says, but souls on earth do just that with every object to a greater or lesser extent. Every concept that they assign a value to. A chair, an idea, a belief, a prejudice, an emotion, a pain, a loss. And because we drag all these things around with us, spiritually speaking, the human body ages faster than it should. I think in one of the books, he tells us that the human body is designed to live until it's 120 years old. 120 years old. But we diminish that age by allowing society to impinge and our beliefs to impinge. And it's hardly surprising because there are so many souls that believe otherwise than we do. But we can extend that life span back to what it's supposed to be by dismissing those things that are not true of us. Even in meditation, he says, souls find it difficult for their minds to be free of the concepts around them. And to counter this, he suggests in meditation that we say and consider, this is a and a major thing. I exist, all exists, nothing exists. I exist, all exists, nothing exists. A mantra that takes away the walls, the consolidations that we build around ourselves that restrict us spiritually.
If a part of each day was used to meditate, to understand that your reality is a field that can go back to no thing according to your will, then, as you mentally took back to no thing the things around you that you did not need, you'd release yourself from illnesses. You'd release yourself from vibrations you may have picked up from other people that have been clinging to them because they acknowledge them as having power and are now clinging to you because so do you subconsciously.
Now Joseph says that we can take everything back to nothing, to the no thing, by saying, I am. Simple as that. I am is all we need to know. It aligns us with the divine, with the I am. If we consider I am for a short time each day, that's simple enough to do, we become healthier, we become more focused, and the challenges in our lives will be solved from within, not from outside.
There has to come a time when people on earth let go of their grip on material possessions, but again they get it wrong. They say, in order to find enlightenment, I must forgo all material possessions. No, if you were instead to forego them for a few minutes each day, you'd get them into perspective, and then you could bring them back out of the field, enjoy them, and put them away again for the next day with clarity as to what to do with each day of your lives.
Joseph says there is a deep secret, a deep truth within the phrase, nothing matters. Because nothing does matter. Nothing matters. It's important. Nothing is important. It matters that you realize that your perception of everything is malleable, dependent upon your wishes, because that is how we will operate when we leave the earth and return to the higher side of life. And that is how we operate right now. If we will only understand and acknowledge and accept this. I've been, sorry, Jane, my mistake. I've been doing this with certain small circumstances in my life over the past week, because I obviously reread Revelation. You need to read it and reread it and reread it. And I took certain circumstances back to the nothing. And by withdrawing their power from them and putting it back in a no thing state, a state of no energy, the situation's disappeared. Instantly almost, overnight almost. So nothing does matter. Whatever's wrong with us, whether it's an illness or a state of mind, we can take that state of mind or that illness back to the no thing and sort of dump it in that essence of no thing energy and say, you've gone now. All the effects that you're having on me have gone now. They don't exist. You are powerless now. I am just left with the essence of what you were, the positive essence of what you were, and I can move forward. Very powerful thing to do. And so easy to do once we get into the right mindset with us. And it doesn't take long. And the best time to do it is just before you go to sleep. Because then your mind works on that instruction throughout the night and takes back whatever you want to take to the nothing, dispenses with it, and it disappears.
In times when you cannot get around things, around your situations on earth, remember that no thing matters, and you will see the nonsense of the situations around you, and they will melt away. In your times of greatest stress, no thing matters. The material that is in front of you does not matter. No thing in the field matters. Nothing that you can take things back to the no thing in an instant by concentrating on them, then letting them go, will release you from many of the trials that you undergo on physical level.
And it makes us younger. Isn't that wonderful? Because we're not carrying those heavy vibrations that weigh us down and age us. So, or to think that when I look in the mirror, but we can do that. We can extend our life energies. We're not supposed to go back as quickly as we do go back. And we're not supposed to be ill. The divine doesn't want us to be ill. We were created whole. It is the vibrations around us that convince us that we're ill. And then, of course, we have certain personalities within those vibrations that say, yes, you're ill. Yeah, you need this, you need that, you're ill, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And it consolidates what we think about ourselves and draws more of the negative towards ourselves. We have to draw the positive towards ourselves. And we can take things back to the no thing. What a wonderful way to deal with illness, to deal with circumstances that we don't know the solution to via our physical mind. And I think, having spoken about the no thing, I feel that it's time for something in the physical stomach.
Do you know I'm feeling the
Oh,
same
you feel
thing.
the same way? Well,
Yeah.
you've had about,
It must be.
you've had a feed bag full of chocolate thus far. You should be okay. But yes, you're
I
right.
couldn't resist.
So we will convene again, please, after lunch, where we have the other chapters to have a look at. We have an extended meditation that is connected to Revelation and also connected to some personalities from Revelation that I think you'll find interesting. And we have a question and hopefully an answer session. Certainly we have a question session. The answers are down to whether I can answer the questions. So please enjoy your lunch and we'll get back together at what time, Tony?
In 1 hour.
In 1 hour.